guys, I'm coming live to you in direct. Yes, I know you guys have not seen my face in a while. I know it. I know it. But Texas A&M, right, ends the season with a loss to USC in the Las Vegas Bowl by a score of 35-31. Um, and of course, guys, look, man, we're going to talk about it. I will say I'm not I'm not necessarily disappointed, right? I would just have liked to see them end the season out with the win, right? I would have loved the 9-4 record, man. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the Aggies across the world. Shout out to Mike Elko for getting this program back to winning at least 8 games. This is something that we have not seen since 2020. That's why I say, man, I'm not necessarily disappointed, right? But I am frustrated, right? And I get it. I'm frustrated just like the rest of you all. I think A&M should have totally dominated this game with the score. I believe this game should have been a blowout. But in the end, you know, we didn't. In the end, we lost. So it is what it is. I understand if a lot of you guys don't even much want to come on the podcast right now, man, because a lot of you guys just don't want to hear it. And like I say, man, I get it. You know, it is what it is, man. But what else can you ask from a coach in his first ever season? This is something that I will reference to end this season, right? Number one, Mike Elko is a first-time head coach at Texas A&M. This is only his 3rd year being a head coach, period. So you have to give the guy a chance, man. You got to give him a chance. Kirby Smart, right? And this is what this is what I always reference. Kirby Smart, his first year he went 6-6. Okay? The other guy, Steve Sarkisian, over there at Texas. His first year they went 5-7. Nick Saban, in his first year, they went 7-6. Things happen, you know, and it is what it is. However, you know, I'm pretty sure that a lot of those guys was frustrated as well. But you can't be frustrated into the point of where you're saying to yourself now, oh, man, hell, man, we ain't gonna never be good. No, guy, no. No, guys, give these guys some time. Give Mike Elko some time. My thing about it is this here, the jury is out on Jay Bateman. I don't care what anybody says, the jury is out on Jay Bateman, especially after Mike Elko came into the interview press conference and the first thing he got on was his defense. Because this wasn't an offensive issue, okay? It was an offensive issue in the first half. Don't you get me wrong, because they should have been up 21-0 in that first half, but they weren't. They came back second half. They got it together. They led 24-7 at one point in the second half. And a lot of people thought that A&M was going to run away with it, me, myself included. But at the same time, man, you have to give Lincoln Riley credit. He found the holes in that defensive backfield, and it was all due respect in zone coverage. The zone coverage was not good. I think they played man coverage all throughout the first half, so that's why you seen that quarterback kind of like, you know, just under duress. As soon as they went to zone coverage, Lincoln Riley said, yes, we can start finding some holes in the defense. And he did. He picked that zone coverage apart. Malachi Lemon went off, and Jacoby Lane went off. I still don't remember that quarterback name for USC, but come next year, he may be one of the best damn quarterbacks in the Big Ten next year. Who knows? My thing is, you can't deny Lincoln Riley with quarterback and wide receiver play. This is how this guy got his job. This is how he got his head coaching job. He is one of the best at mixing. He's one of the best at putting together quarterback and wide receiver. Okay, that team was 6-6. I totally get it. They should have killed USC. USC know that they should have gotten their ass whooped. But they did not. They didn't, man, and it is what it is, okay? Uh, but in that first quarter, man, this has been A&M's Achilles offensively all season long. They start slow. They start slow as hell. I have always put it into my mind, if A&M goes up 10-0 in the first quarter, that game is going to be a blowout. Okay? It's going to be a blowout, but they have to get 10 in the first quarter. That was me all season. They got 10 points in a couple of those games. In the first half of the game, in the first half of the season, where they went 7-1. They led like 10-0 in the first quarter during like most of those games. And they ended up either blowing out their opponent or they just ended up flat out winning. But they have to get to fast starts. That game yesterday was not fast start at all. I don't know if West Coast played the difference on that, because I do know that they were on a 2-hour difference, right? They were on a 2-hour time delay, in which here it was 9:30 when the game came on, and I stayed up till that game went off. I stayed up till it went off. I usually watch the post-game show with David Nuno for Texags and stuff like that, but I didn't stay up this time, man, because I was like, look, man, it is getting extremely late. The post-game wrap was at like 1:45. I stayed all the way up. I stayed all the way up. I saw that game from start to finish. Marcel Reed looked good. He looked good. Yeah, I knew he threw a couple of turnovers, don't get me wrong. But what else can you ask for from Marcel Reed? He got 3 touchdowns passing, and then he got 1 touchdown on the ground. It's nothing more that you can ask from a dual-threat quarterback to do when he's damn near thrown for 300 yards. He damn near threw for 300. One of those interceptions was not on him. I do feel like Noah Thomas should have caught the football, but he did. And it is what it is. Shout out to Noah Thomas, though. Noah Thomas looked damn good in that game. I wish he would have got over 100 receiving yards, but that's another one where I can say he didn't. I saw a couple of drops in this game. It was a drop by the tight end, and there was a drop by, I believe, Ja'Day Walker or the other wide receiver. For whatever reason, I can't remember his name, right? I think Reuben Owens looked good. I think they should have got him more carries. I don't know what was up with the conservative play calling offensively when it was 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. Man, just run the football. Just run it. Zone reads until Marcel Reed gets the zone read package down. We don't need to see that next season unless he has it all the way down pat. You can't ask somebody to run zone reads in which that defense was absolutely looking for a zone read. USC defense is not good. Okay? They weren't good all season. However, man, they still wasn't good in this game. But they manned up and they came out and they won. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just believe that Texas A&M, just like the rest of you guys already know, the ones that watch the game, right? The defense broke down. The defensive backfield broke down. We have still yet to see a holding call that's put on this defense for whatever reason, but I was talking to Eric Crenshaw, man, about this here, and I said, man, the South Carolina game really broke this A&M team apart. Defensively and offensively. Once Le'Veon Moss went down in that South Carolina game, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it, man. I don't like how the way that played out, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I do believe that South Carolina game broke this team completely apart in SEC play. And now, we looked at it at the end of the season, man, and this team got destroyed in the backfield. They got absolutely destroyed. Shout out to Le'Veon Moss, man, for just running over folks when he was out there uninjured. Okay? It doesn't, it doesn't make any sense for this team to try to put everything on Marcel Reed. Man, I understand he's a starter, man. Don't get me wrong about that. And I believe Marcel Reed's going to be damn good next year. He showed in that game against USC. I know it's USC before anybody comes on here and say any goddamn thing. But he showed in that game that he could absolutely throw the football. It's nothing else that I need to see from Marcel Reed so far as throwing the football. He had accuracy in that game, and he looked good, man. Truth be told, Marcel should have had about 5 goddamn throwing touchdowns in this game. He should have had 5. But I hate the shoulda, coulda, wouldas just like everybody else. I hate the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Also, real quick, let me just throw this in here. Let me announce this. Terry Bussey isn't going anywhere, people. Terry Bussey is not going anywhere. Before any, I've seen, on Twitter, people trying to say, "Oh man, I think Terry Bussey." Man, Terry Bussey is not leaving. Terry Bussey looked good in this game, but you can tell he's still a freshman. He's still a freshman. Like I say, Noah Thomas looked good. In my mind, I don't believe the offense will be a problem next season. I do not. I think the passing game, I'm not ready to say this passing game will be elite, but this passing game will be one of the best in the SEC. Well, it will be one of the best in the SEC next year. As of right now, Marcel Reed, and I did not check the stats on this, but I believe, certain info when I see it being put out there. Marcel Reed has Marcel Reed has eclipsed some passing yards in which we haven't seen since 2019 Kellen Mond. I think that's what somebody had put out there. Either 2019 or 2020 Kellen Mond. That's a long damn time, man. That's a long time. I feel good about where this team is going to go with Marcel Reed on their back. The last play from Texas A&M and when they scored that touchdown, you can tell Marcel Reed was in his zone. He was in his zone, man. And if that's the Marcel Reed that we're going to get next season, I'm here to say, look out. Look out. Now, truth be told, I do think that it's something to be said about Colin Klein and Jay Bateman in that room when those guys are amongst one another. Okay? I do believe that Colin Klein and Mike Elko himself, right, have asked Jay Bateman throughout that season to step up. I don't know where the hell the defense went after the South Carolina game. But they were a no-show in those last SEC games leading up to this game. And they were good starting out. It's just at the end of the last 2 quarters, the passing game just the passing defense just disappeared. They disappeared. I have no damn clue where they went to, but they disappeared. I think Des Ricks was put into some horrible spots, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But like I said, I believe the jury is still out for Jay Bateman. Not necessarily Colin Klein. I believe Colin Klein will be good. But a lot of these people have to understand that Colin Klein and Jay Bateman were kind of on the rush, man. These were kind of rush head coaches. The one that did do good to me, in my opinion, and good might be a stretch, but he was okay, was Colin Klein. He absolutely orchestrated that offense to cater around the run game, in which, shout out to Billy Lucci, and it's a reason to why I tagged him in his post. A lot of you guys have to understand what Billy Lucci said before this season even started. Before this season started, Billy Lucci absolutely told you guys, that the wide receiver is a big question mark on this team going into the season. He never ever said that the guys wasn't good. He just said that is a big question mark going into the season, man. That is a very big question mark. He also told you all that he believed the defense was going to be okay, but I believe how the way Jay Bateman ran some things in which I give credit to Mike Elko, because Mike Elko was like, hey, I'm going to let you guys run it by yourselves in this first year because I really want to see how you guys do. I think Jay Bateman was a failure at the end of the season. At the end of the season, I think we can all say Jay Bateman was by far the biggest failure at the end of the season. Like I say, the jury's out on him because he can absolutely turn this thing around next season. But Jay Bateman was a failure at the end of this season, man. I don't like that. But it is what it is, you know. A lot of people say they're realists. I'm not gonna say I'm a realist. That's just a fact. That's just a fact, man. But I believe this team will be good next season, man. But like I say, it was also a couple drops, you know. Like I say, Trey Watson, he dropped the ball, in which should have been a catch. But it is what it is, man. We gotta move on from that. And I commend Marcel Reed for moving on. He was like, hey, man, we just gotta move on. You know, we gotta move on. But we just didn't have the wide receiver weapons. We just didn't. And it showed once again in this game. Like we just didn't have the skill players this year. Don't get me wrong. I believe one of those skill players was hurt throughout the whole course of the year. It wasn't Ja'Day Walker. It was somebody else. I can't remember this. Let me get on here, man. Let me make sure that, you know, speaking of some facts here. But it was some wide receiver. It was a wide receiver hurt during this year. As you can see, I have my cigar. And this cigar, by the way, man, for my cigar smokers out there, right? This is a Drew Estate, and this is a legend. This is my favorite cigar. Okay, it has that sweet coffee taste on it. And a lot of you guys that don't even much smoke cigars, if you're out and you're wondering what cigar to get, especially if you're out here in Houston, you're in the Conroe area, go off 242, go to Cigar International, ask for Drew Estate Legend Cigar, man. This cigar is a game breaker, okay? This is a damn good cigar, man. This really, really good. Try it out. All right, let me just pull up some stats here, man. And I like how the way Marcel Reed distributed the ball because he got it out to like about 6 or 7 wide receivers in this game. So Marcel Reed, man, he got the ball out to Jabri Barber. That's the guy who was hurt damn near the entire year. Ja'Day Walker was good. And shout out to Ja'Day, man. Ja'Day is left for the NFL. All right. He is declared for the NFL draft. As well as Trey Watson. Trey Watson has declared for the NFL draft as well. But Jabri Barber had about 7 receptions in this game. This is what we needed throughout the season. But Jabri Barber was injured. He was hurt. He had about 7 receptions for about 48 yards and 1 touchdown. Noah Thomas had about 5 receptions for 29 yards. That's crazy to me. He had about 5 receptions for about 29 yards and 2 touchdowns. The 2 touchdowns that he got, though, man, those fade routes to Noah Thomas, hell, we should have been doing that all season long. And Noah Thomas ends the year with about 8 touchdown receptions. We have not had a wide receiver to get 8 goddamn touchdown receptions since probably who knows when. You know, this is where Texas A&M is at with their wide receivers ever since Kevin Sumlin's left. And I hate that, man. I really do. Hell, I'll be the first one that was a Jimbo supporter to honestly say it. Jimbo destroyed that wide receiver corps. He destroyed those guys. I just don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. Reuben Owens had about 13 carries, 56 yards, 0 touchdowns. EJ Smith was 5 for 36. I think they should have absolutely kept on running EJ Smith. I get it. EJ may not be the best damn back that we had this year, man. Look, I totally get it. Hell, we all know who the best back was. It was Le'Veon Moss. Shit. But I believe that EJ Smith should have gotten a better chance than what he got last night. But like I say, this game isn't on the offense production. This is on the defensive breakdown. Okay? But Ruben Owens also had 1 catch for 6 yards. But Ruben was good. And I am so ready for Ruben Owens to get his damn start next season. I pray that none of these guys get hurt. Damn, I pray none of these guys get hurt. In training camp or in the spring game, man. Just to let you guys know, man, I will be at this spring game. I will be at that spring game next year. Knock on wood, it does not rain next year. I hope for spring game's sake that it doesn't rain. Because if it does rain, then I'm telling you guys this right now, I already know it. I would not be going to this spring game at all. I'm going out there with my family. I have not been out there in 2 years, man, for a spring game. But this team that's coming back, depending on who may want to go to the transfer portal now, I think whoever went to the transfer portal, that is it, okay? I do not think you'll see anybody else go to the transfer portal. And that speaks to the culture that Mike Elko has put out there. That speaks to the culture that Mike Elko wants to build. That speaks to what Jay Bateman wants to build, although I say the jury's out on that damn dude. And it also speaks to what Colin Klein has built. And a lot need to be said for how the way Tony Moffitt has built this damn team. Tony Moffitt has put some toughness into this damn team. Okay? Yeah, we didn't see it the last stretch throughout the season. I know that part. And because that was just piss poor tackling. But I do believe with the additions of the transfer portal and other things that's coming in with this unit, it's going to be pretty damn good, man. I do think Mika Hudson is going to be a damn good wide receiver, in which was a former 5-star recruit. Hey, baby. Which was a former 5-star recruit. I believe the kid from Mississippi State is going to do some wonders for this team as well, in whom, kind of tortured us. Y'all know you see me swatting, that's a damn mosquito. In which kind of tortured us in that game we had played Mississippi State. I do think he's going to be good. So I think you have to be ready for a lot of things that's going to come in and determine where this football team is going to go so far as catching the football. Because we all know that we need some wide receivers. And I think with the additions of those guys, they're going to be pretty damn good. I'm still looking and seeing where Zachariah Branch is going to go. Because I think he'll be a damn good addition to this wide receiver corps. I believe Jabri Barber is coming back, so you got to add him. And then with the likes of the freshman that's coming in, Jerome Miles, and then also Astro Bethel Roman. I think that's the damn. I think that's the kid name. And then Isaiah Williams. I believe that's his name also. That was the freshman that did not get his chance to get out there, right? These guys are coming back. And then you got Terry Buss. All of these guys are coming back. Noah's coming back. Okay, so that's why I say I'm not upset. I wanted the night win. It would have looked damn good on a resume, right? It would have looked damn good at the end of the season, 9-4. But I want to see what these guys are going to do in the next year. This is my thing, right? And this is maybe a lot of people thing out there. What will they do next season? Will we go 8-4 again next season? Or can we go 9-3? I'm looking at this team going 9-3 next season. All right. Now we have a lot of these games on the road. We got a lot of them, man. And you know what? I don't mind. Let's go ahead and start talking about it, man. So let's look at the schedule for next year. Let's look at Texas A&M football schedule next year, man, in which I do want to go to a lot of these home games next year. And if I'm not mistaken, I will most likely be at a lot of these home games. All right, so UTSA, I want to chunk that up as a win. But we're going to see how we're going to perform. Utah State, I'm going to chunk that up as a win. Both of these games at home, by the way. Notre Dame is the one I'm sure everybody got scheduled. College game day might be there for that one. I believe both of these teams will be 2-0 meeting up. But Notre Dame will be a damn good test. All right. They've won their first playoff game at home at that. And Notre Dame will come back into the season next year as a top 10 team. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see what's what. Auburn, right? Auburn comes here. Auburn comes here. And that's on September 27th. That's the game that's going to test us because Auburn beat us last year. Can you get past Auburn? Right? That's going to be the first test. That's going to be the first test. And then after that comes Mississippi State. That's going to be another one. So the first 3 SEC games are at home. These are all in your favor. Marcel Reed's coming back as your starter. Marcel Reed was the guy that beat Florida. Marcel Reed did not beat Mississippi State. Marcel Reed did not beat Auburn. Marcel Reed did not beat Notre Dame as well. What will Marcel Reed do? Jay Bateman, can your defense play like they played against Notre Dame in that first game of the season? Because they were pretty damn good. They were pretty good, okay? These first 4 games are going to test you next season. The first 4 games at Notre Dame, against Auburn at home, against Mississippi State at home, against Florida at home. I'm not sleeping on none of these damn teams. I'm not sleeping on none of them. But I'm going to come into the next season just like how I came into this season. If you're up by 10 points in the first quarter, you're going to win that ball game. If you're not up by 10 points in the first quarter, this is going to be a game where you're either going to win closely or this is going to be a game where you're going to lose. They are. And I'm speaking way too early because that season hadn't even got here yet. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good one, okay? Number one, Notre Dame is coming off another 10-win season, okay? Just go ahead and put that into your mind already. Notre Dame is coming off another 10-win season. So they're going to be in here. Auburn is coming off a bad season, but they beat you. Okay? But they're coming in there with some players that can play some damn football. Mississippi State, I'm going to give you the win on that one, but you haven't beaten Mississippi State at home. Well, yes, you did. Last time you played them, you had blew them out at home. You're on a 2-0 streak against Mississippi State. Can you make it 3-0? I think you can. However, the quarterback for that team is the former Oklahoma quarterback, Jackson Arnold. What will they do? We're going to see. You got to play Florida. DJ Legway, he wasn't the starter in that game, man. You're going to get him as a starter this time. I think DJ is going to show up, and DJ is going to show up, and he's going to show out. Okay? Put it like that. DJ is going to come into this game, and he's coming back to Texas to show the hell out. All right? This was a school that was very much in his recruiting. This was a school in which is Texas A&M, where it came down to you in Florida. You're the one that made DJ Legway wait. Okay? You're the one that scared Florida into the possibility of losing him. This game, man, he's going to play, and Florida is coming in here with some goddamn talent, the most they've had in a long time. This is a good football team. They started out bad this season, but they ended the season solidly. They too went 8-5. Okay? Well, I'm sorry. They too went 8-4. Or 8-5. It was one of them. But Florida is coming in here with the same record that you had this season. All right? But we're going to see. Arkansas, man, these first 4 SEC games, this is going to be a hell of a test. This is going to be a hell of a test. At Arkansas, that team has been wanting to beat your ass at their home stadium in a very long, over a decade now. That's how long it's been for them since they haven't beat you at their home stadium. They've been wanting this. They've been wanting this. They want you bad. That game is, man, that team is going to show up. That team is going to show up bad. That team should have college game day at that goddamn stadium. Depending on how Arkansas is, that team should have game day at Arkansas. Okay? Then after that, you go to LSU. That's brutal. That's brutal. You ain't beat LSU at home ever since you've been in the SEC. That's brutal, man. That's brutal. The game that's going to define this entire goddamn season, for me, in my opinion, is if you can win at LSU. Because you haven't showed any of us around college football within the 13, next year going to make 14 years that you've been in the SEC, that you can win at Tiger Stadium. You need to beat them goddamn folks already, man. You need to beat those folks. And when you beat them, you cannot get on your high horse like you done this year and feel like, hey, we're going to win every goddamn game now. Because I truly believe that's probably what that defense did. You can't do that anymore, man. You're going to have to come down. You're going to have to be humble. Not to say that you weren't, but you're going to have to be humble, and you're going to have to rethink everything that you did, okay? If you can get that win at LSU, that's going to be the deal breaker of 2025, okay? These games before LSU, they absolutely matter. But if you're rolling, and you're rolling undefeated into LSU, you need to win that game. You need to win that game. You can win that game at LSU. It's no doubt in my mind that you can beat Missouri at Missouri. South Carolina is the team you got to get. They're bringing the North Sellers back. They're bringing most of that damn team back. They're bringing most of that team back. And everybody around the country thinks that that's the team that can get to an SEC title game next year. They're going to have South Carolina very high. Very, very high. Okay? Stanford, we're not going to talk about this. Texas, you have to beat them at Texas. They came into your home and they beat you. You got to beat them. You got to beat them. You got to beat Texas at Texas. And regardless of how you feel about it, Quinn Ewers or Arch, whichever damn quarterback is going to play, that defense, I don't think it'll. Give it to Lola. Okay. That defense, I don't think it'll be the same defense. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Hey, look at that. All right, baby. My baby girl, she just gave the dog a toy. That defense, I don't think that'll be the same defense. Because that defense that they had this year, I don't think Texas will have that same defense on next year. That's me. Everybody around the country knows that. But I do think Texas will be a 10-win team next year. Okay? It's no doubt about it in my mind. As much as I don't like Texas, Texas is back to being a damn good ball club. Okay? Regardless of how that schedule looks, man, Texas is back to being a damn good team. I respect it. It is what it is. But that's credit to Steve Sarkisian and what he's done. All right? But this ain't about Texas. You need to go in there and you need to put that goddamn horns down to rest. Okay? You weren't able to win a ball game this year. I hate that for you. That was the game that you needed to win, honestly. You need to win all of them, in my opinion. But sometimes it don't end up like that, all right? Nobody went undefeated this year except Oregon. But you need to beat Texas, okay? You just have to. You got to. That's the game that's going to determine if you're going to get to 9 wins or not. I think to end your regular season. I got you going 9-3. I do not have 10-2. 10-2 is a possibly, but we all have to see. 10-2 is a possibility. Okay? The ceiling is 11-1. You're not going to go 12-0, man. You're not. You're just absolutely not going to go 12-0 next year. You can, but you're not. I know this already. Okay? 11-1 is your ceiling. 8-4 is your floor. Again, 8-4 is your floor. You can absolutely go 8-4 just like you did this season. Just like you did this season. We went 8-5. You know, like I say, I'm hoping coming into next season, they don't go 7-5. If 2025 you go 7-5, it's going to look like Jimbo Fisher again. That's what it's going to look like, and you don't want a lot of people saying that this shit look like Jimbo Fisher again, okay? The reason why Jimbo Fisher went 7-5 the next season is because everybody left him. Everybody left and went to the NFL draft. For whatever damn reason, man, but everybody left and went to the NFL draft. That's the reason why he went 7-5. And then a lot of people got hurt. So he went 7-5. Mike Elko, you're bringing almost your entire roster. Well, I'm lying because you had about 20 damn transfers, but you're bringing some significant pieces back with you next year. Marcel Reed is one of them. That's your starting quarterback. You're bringing him back. I believe Marcel Reed will be better, but you're adding weapons around Marcel Reed in which Marcel Reed can throw the football and he can run. Marcel Reed does not remind me of Kellen Mond at all. Marcel Reed reminds me of Lamar Jackson, and he can be that. I saw Lamar Jackson in his first year, wasn't a good first year. That next year, Lamar Jackson balled the hell out, and nobody knew who the hell he was. Nobody. But Lamar Jackson made people respect him because he put Louisville on the map. He put him out there, man. He put him on the map. He was one win away from going to college football playoffs. He was one win away from going to the ACC championship game, but they couldn't beat Clemson. They couldn't beat Clemson. Okay? It stuck with Lamar Jackson. That's why he's the way he is in the NFL right now. In which he's stoppable at times, but when he's rolling in a season, Lamar Jackson is hard to beat. We saw this in college, and he's hard to beat now. I believe you can get the same thing with Marcel Reed. He can be that guy. Okay? He can be compared to Lamar Jackson. But Marcel Reed will be Marcel Reed. Okay? He can't be anybody else but Marcel Reed. And Marcel Reed has showed you at times throughout the season, he's got a goddamn arm on him, man, and he can put up some passing yards with some of the best of them. And he'll absolutely annihilate you in a passing game. Okay? So we really have to see where we're going to go with this. And I think they'll be good. Like I say, I will be at the spring game. So you guys be looking for me up there, man, because I'll be there. I will be there with my family, like I say, because we all love going up to Texas A&M events, okay? And football has just been the only thing. I have not been to a basketball game. I have not been to a baseball game. But I've always said that it's coming, okay? I've always said that it's coming. Just be patient with it. Just be patient. With this freshman class that's coming in, I think this is going to be a class to watch, okay? 2025 is going to be the year where I believe, and I said it this year, man, but if you guys heard me this year, I said the floor was 8. I said the floor was 8-4. I said that 11-1 was the ceiling. And it was going to be in between that, okay, to end the season. For the bowl season, I saw nowhere near Texas A&M losing the damn bowl game. I did not see that, right? But 2024 is where Elko had to lay his foundation. And he had to do a rush foundation. We need to be thankful for the transfer portal. I don't like it, don't get me wrong, but we need to be thankful for it. But we need to be thankful for it, okay? I believe that the cornerback unit will be one of our best defensive units in 2025. A guy that Elko, in my opinion, was going to lay his foundation on heavily was Tyreek Chappelle. And I believe if Tyreek Chappelle would have not been hurt, he would have been the best damn corner in the SEC. Him and Will Lee would have been a huge problem to a lot of people out there. But we lost Tyreek Chappelle before the start of the season. But I believe him and Will Lee, with Will Lee coming back next year for an extra year, I believe those will be your top two corners in all of college football. Okay? I honestly believe that. I believe they are going to stop a lot of people next year, man. It's a lot of guys that just got hurt, man, that just went down, start the season. But how the way we started was magnificent to me. that was very goddamn fascinating to how the way we started this season because that was very unexpected. They went 7-1 to start this damn campaign. Fell off a roller coaster after that, in which a lot of guys like to put out there, the Aggie roller coaster. But they look damn good, man. They look damn good. I hate how the way the quarterback changes was going, right? That's going to be one of my only knocks. But they look good, man. And they look like a promising team at times. It's frustrating, don't get me wrong. But I have a lot of confidence in Mike Elko. I just still believe that the jury is out for Jay Bateman. But if you was to tell me that Jay Bateman was going to start this damn thing defensively with, 7-1 streak, I would have said that you were lying. And it's the reason why I think Jay Bateman's going to come back next year. Jay Bateman would not be fired, people. If anybody out there believing Jay Bateman will be fired, he would not be fired. The jury's still out, though, but he would not be fired. But I do think that his defense is going to be a bit more better holding up the passing game next year. The passing game will be the strength of this defense. The running game will be good enough. The running defense will be good enough to hold opponents. The passing defense is the one that I don't think anybody's going to try to throw on. They're going to throw, but I don't think they're going to try to throw like that. Okay? And like I always tell you guys, listen to Billy Lucci. See what he says before the start of that season. Listen to him when he say, hey, man, I think the weakness will maybe be such and such. Maybe the linebacking unit. The linebackers, you can have that as your weakest unit, and it really won't affect you because if they can't get through the first line of defense, right, then it's kind of nothing to worry. It's kind of nothing to worry about on that linebacking unit, right? Because that's always one of your second levels. Your third level is your safeties and your corners. Your second level is your linebackers. If your first line of defense can get to them, I promise you, you'll be fine all goddamn day long. Like I say, I don't believe this defensive line will be elite next season. I believe they'll be good, though. They'll be damn good. I believe they'll put up more sacks next season. That I will say. Your offensive line will be a touch better. It'll be, a lot of guys coming back from off injury, in which to say that offensive line looked good against USC. I didn't see any holding penalties. I saw a couple of false starts, but I didn't see any holding penalties, nothing like that. I didn't see illegal man down, downfield, nothing like that. They gave up one sack. Don't get me wrong, y'all know that part. But I think Marcel Reed will be a better scrambler next year. I think it was just all about him developing throughout the year. This was a big development year for Marcel Reed. And he ended the season with it, right? He ended the season in development mode. He's 0-2 in bowl games. I hate that. But this is his first true start, first true legitimate start in the bowl game. So, it is what it is. But Marcel Reed put up a monster performance, man. And you can't take anything from Marcel Reed at all. Marcel Reed looked damn good. And anybody that doesn't think he looked good, man, I'm here to say that you probably just didn't watch the damn game because the game was too damn late. And you're probably still saying to yourself, hey, the jury's out on Marcel Reed. And I totally get it. I get it. And it is what it is. But I believe this time going to the Notre Dame game, they'll be fully prepared. As opposing to how they were this year. This year, they weren't prepared, man. It is what it is. Yeah, they had some time to get prepared, but they weren't prepared. Nobody knew that Connor was going to go out there and be that bad. Then again, nobody much knew that Connor was still hurt. Or Connor got hurt in the damn game. Because I don't think he spoke up and said, he may have said something, but they probably, and who knows what happened, but I don't believe he said anything. And it is what it is. I believe the running game will be a goddamn fool next year. Because Amar Daniels is coming back. Amar said it himself, I'm coming back. Let's run it back. Ruben Owens is coming back. He said it himself. He coming back. Le'Veon Moss, another one. Let's run it back. That's a three-headed monster in which those guys are pumped about running this football. I still think this will be a heavy run team next year, but I think it'll be so balanced where that offense is going to kind of hit you from either direction. Noah Thomas is going to be good, man. Noah Thomas is going to be good. But I believe I'm a huge believer in Mika Hudson, man. I believe Mika Hudson and Noah Thomas is going to be a 1-2 punch. And I believe Jerome Miles is going to get mixed in there, and he's going to be like a third punch. But a guy that I would never sleep on is Isaiah Williams. That guy is one of the fastest guys in Florida when he came out. He just never got a chance to play. And he didn't hit the transfer portal. That's why I say I think that wide receiver core will be good next year. I think it'll be damn good. I know I'm giving a lot of hope, but I think that offense will be good, man. I really do think that offense will be top 25 in the country next year. It's just nobody thought that Connor was going to get benched this year. You know, I'm sorry. And I'm forgetting, man, the wide receiver from Mississippi State. I think they have a wide receiver core that's a force to be reckoned with. And they're going to be up there for not top 5 per se, but at least top 6 or top 7 in the SEC. This is going to be a team that a lot of people are going to pay attention to again. And shout out to ABC for putting A&M on ABC so much, man. They put them on prime time a lot this year. Surprised the hell out of me, man. But they put Texas A&M absolutely in prime time this year a lot. Yeah, it sucks, right? But they let the world see that Texas A&M can absolutely win 8 games. I've heard people say it before. They're nothing but an 8-win program. Could be true. Then again, it could not be, right? We've seen Texas A&M win 11 games before. We've all witnessed it. We've seen Texas A&M win 9 games before, 3 times, right? We've all witnessed it. We just have not seen them consistently do it within a stretch, you know? Like I said, it depends on how Mike Elko shows up next season. If Mike Elko shows up next season and he gets this team to a 9-3 record, and then, you know, depending on if they get to the SEC championship game or they get to a bowl game and make it 10 wins or 11 wins possibly, that's the direction that we all hope for. 7 years ago with Jimbo Fisher. This is the direction that we were wanting to go to. So, like I say, man, just stay tuned. A lot of big ups on it, right? But Ja'Day Walker declared for the draft. Trey Watson declared for the draft. Just to let y'all know again. Nick Gordon declared for the draft. Shamar Stewart declared for the draft. Shamar Turner declared for the draft. Breaking news. This is crazy to me. Breaking news. 2026 4-star wide receiver. And let me go to it, man, because I just seen some breaking news. So I'm glad you guys on here. Breaking news. 2026 4-star wide receiver, man, has just committed to Texas A&M. Madden Williams, 4-star athlete, 2026. He's committed to Texas A&M, man. He's from Bellflower, California. Chose the Aggies over Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon. I like it. I like it. I like it, man. I love it. Okay? I like it. This is the 2026 class in which I think he'll be damn good. I think he'll be damn good. Okay? Somebody talking about he didn't watch the A&M game last night. Marcel Reed threw for over 300 yards last night. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, and it is what it is. Okay? It's good because, like I say, man, we need wide receivers, all right? And I'm still not sleeping on. I'm still not sleeping on the guy from Alabama, and I'm not sleeping on Zachariah Branch. I'm not. I'm just not. I believe Zachariah Branch will be a very good addition to this Texas A&M team, and we need him. We need him, man, and we need all the wide receivers that we can get. Okay, because that was our biggest downfall of the season. It just wasn't very much productive wide receiver play. And like I say, I feel that we can go in and we can get some people to come to Texas A&M, man. And Marcel Reed, credit to that young man, he's making these wide receivers believe in him, and I love that. I love that a whole lot. He's making these guys believe in him. Okay, I think Marcel Reed's going to be damn good. He was over 2,000 yards passing this season, and let me make sure I'm correct about this. Let me go to Texas A&M. Okay, I'm sorry. Stats wise, Marcel Reed only threw for about 1,864 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he was sacked 14 times. Um, and that's okay. That's okay. He he went for 547 rushing yards and put up 7 touchdowns. I I believe that guy is going to be good. Give him a full year, and I believe that he'll crack that mark. So let me see what he done on last year. Threw for about 374 on last year, uh, and then, like I say, in 2024, he threw for about 1,800. Didn't start, well, didn't get a full time start until the South Carolina game. But I believe he's going to be good, man. He's going to be good. Noah ended the year with about 574 receiving yards and with about 8 touchdowns. He was the leading receiver for this team, and which is good to me, which is good. The leading rusher for this team was Le'Veon Moss, um, with 121 carries, 765 yards. 75 is the longest touchdown and 10 touchdowns. That's good, man. That's good. Amar Daniels had about 8 touchdowns, and Marcel Reed had 7. So I think these guys are going to be good, man. I honestly do. Uh, but to end the year with about 1,864 yards and plus the 300 from last year, he's eclipsed the over the 2,000 yard passing mark in 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Uh, I believe next year he's going to be much better. I do. But like I say, man, we got a long time before that season hits, uh, and we'll see. We'll see. So I think all of you guys tuning in. That's all I have for you, man. Um, and I just want to say, one more last time, this year, if I don't come back on here tomorrow, Giga Maggots. Thank you guys for riding with me throughout the podcast for football throughout the whole season. I know a lot of you guys didn't going to watch, especially if I'm not talking about football, but I will do my best to keep you guys entertained and up to date. Okay. And because I have a lot of question marks as well, for next season, man. So just keep that in mind. All right. But it's a season to say the least, man. And we ended it at 8-5. I'm pretty sure we won't be ranked to finish out the season. If we would have got that win, we probably would have been smack dead at 25 to end the ranking. Uh, but it is what it is, man. Like I say, love all of you guys. And one more time, Giga Max.